Alright, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a real-time camera within your scene in Blender, which will have a screen and display whatever is in front of it. So let me show you how this works. So I have my object here, which is kind of like a little GoPro, and it has a screen at the back, which is just a texture. So this is only shader node based. There's no geometry node involved. And the other element is at the front, you need to have an object, which is going to be your sensor object. It can be anything. It can be an empty. Here it's a mesh, but it can also be like a Blender camera like this to see what exactly you want to see, to check, but it doesn't matter. What's going to matter is that the pivot point here is at the right place in order to show you what's in front of the camera. So for instance, if I take the object and I put it inside the camera, you can see that as soon as the pivot point is inside here where it's dark, it doesn't display anything. But if I take it out like this, now it starts to display again. And so this is really controlling your display here. So I parented that to my GoPro here, and if I go into this camera here, I can show you that with this setup right now, if I move the GoPro around, it follows. And also if I rotate it, the display is actualized to show the rotation. And so this is not exactly straightforward at first with the ray portal, but I can show you how I made this work. So to have this effect, I went to I asked around on the Blender artist forums, and I got redirected to this documentation here, the ray portal BSDF documentation on the Blender docs. Yeah, you can see cycles only. If you scroll at the very bottom, you can see that they show you how to make a camera feed. This is important because the ray portal by default, it's 3D. So if you move your view around, what's inside the display of the ray portal will shift. It will look like it has depth, and looks almost like if you can get in, which it's not what you want for a TV screen or for a CCTV display, because a screen is like 2D, it's flat. So this allows you to make the ray portal flat and not change too much. It does a little bit, but this way it stays flat on the display that you have. So how did I do that? If I show you my node shader here, it's exactly the same, except here and here, these combined XYZ are controlled by drivers from the sensor. So when the sensor moves, these get actualized, get fed into the ray portal BSDF, and then it actualizes the screen display. So let me do that from scratch so I can show you how this works exactly and what are the little setup that you need to have in your object too. So first thing first, you want to make sure that your screen is UV unwrapped, so you can unwrap it from view here, and make sure that it's at the center of your UV map here. So it has to be at 0.5 or 0.5 in both direction, because then the node will use that to display the screen. So let's make a new material. We don't need the BSDF here. Let's add our ray portal. Here it is. And how it works, the ray portal has these two vector nodes here. You have the position, which is actually the location in space that we're going to use, and the direction, which is actually the rotation. I don't know why it's called like that. I guess it makes sense for vectors, but think about it like location and rotation. So let's see how I made this. So okay, first you want to have a vector rotate, which is going to be set up in Euler. I don't know why, but it works. So that's how it only works. And then a combine XYZ, which we'll come back to later, but this is very important. It's going to be controlling the rotation. Same for the position. This is a bit simpler. You just need to plug this in and that's it. You just need to add the drivers after that to make it work. Then we're going to get the UV information. So let's get a texture coordinate. Let's get a vector math which is set up to subtract. Plug the UV in the first vector here. Let's have another combine XYZ to control the UV position, and let's have value nodes here. This way you'll see. So this one is going to control like the position in the UV space. So you just have to plug it in the X and Y and set it to 0.5 so it's centered. And this one here is going to control the focal length. So how it's going to control like the zoom on your camera. So this is going into Z. It's going to Z, and I'll tell you this later, but it works like using the Z position. That's why here it's rotated 90 degree. So you see in a local mode here, the Z direction is where the image is coming from. Here it's actually minus Z. I don't know why exactly, but that's how it is. So this you can set up to between like 0.5 and 1. Let's have it to 1 here because it works pretty well. And then this subtract vector here, you can put it into the top part of the vector rotate. And here you can see we already starting to have an image because the camera is black. You can see that it's filming. I think it's filming the ground here, but then it's not being controlled by anything, so we need to add drivers. So for the drivers, this combine XYZ here is controlling the location, and X, Y, and Z are actually your position in space. So let me do a driver here. You want this to be average value. I don't know why it works like this. I have no idea why is that, but it just works. The object that is controlling that driver is going to be your sensor object, not the GoPro. And here already, I think it works. Let me check. Yes, it should, because the type is set to X location, which is correct, and then world space. It's not local space, it's world space. So you want to do this for the other drivers too. So let's do average value. This time Y location because it's in Y. Get your camera sensor, and also world space, etc. So this is good. And then the same for the bottom one, the Z1, average value, Z location, this sensor. And here you can see that it already changed. You see the display has changed because it's reading some of the information. So let's do the same for the rotation this time. So add driver, average value, get the sensor, but this time you don't want it to be location, you want it to be rotation. So here you can see that we already have the right image, but I think, yeah, it moves on X, but for instance, if I move it on Y, you see that it doesn't actualize. So let's add the driver for Y. So GoPro sensor here. Get this, the Y location, Y rotation, my bad. Don't forget to put it in average value. This works, all right. And then the same here. There's probably a way to copy the drivers and just change the gizmos here, but I don't know how to do that. A driver, and don't forget average value. And then here it is. I think now if I rotate it on any direction, it works like this. Works on Z, works on Y as well. And if I move it around, you can see that the image is correct. So if you want, it's really easy to add. For instance, after the ray portal, you can have like a mix shader, and then you can add like, I don't know, some wave textures to make, if you want, like a pixelize the screen filter to add more realism. But yeah, that's about it, and this works correctly like this. Okay, so as a bonus, let me show you why did I want to make this at first. At first I wanted to use that for rear view cameras in real time, but I ended up making GoPros for fun to put them on the car. So you can see here in EV it doesn't work, it's just transparent, but here in cycle it works perfectly. So let's say I want to put this, I don't know, here on the door. So now with that shader I can also, which one is it? Control, yeah, the focal length. Don't go in negative, it does some weird stuff in negative. Oh yeah, I know, in negative it goes back around, so here I'm seeing the lens of the GoPro, so it's like filming the GoPro itself. But if you stay in positive like this, for the focal length, it will zoom in and out, and I think for the GoPro, like for having a fisheye effect, it's like 0.6, you have like this very wide angle here. It catches more light, but I guess that's how it works in real life too. I couldn't figure out how to make depth of field setup. That would be cool. If you guys know, please let me know, or like if you guys could show how to do that on this node setup, that would be cool. But yeah, that's it. Let me know in the comments if you have any issue with that, or if you could maybe make it better. And yeah, that's it. I'll put the file, the first file in the description on the drive, so you guys can just take the nodes if you don't want to make them. All right, that's it.